TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the previous episode, we began the final trial, and we talked to Emma on Emma's testimony, and it turns out she was actually the murderer. Today, we're going to figure out what's going to happen next, so if you have for today's episode, make sure that like button supports greatly appreciated to the channel. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Huh. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll be come back later.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Again? I take it Lana's having you run errands again?
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this to you if there was a break in today's trial.
Evidence law? Edward was talking about this just the other day.
This.
No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. What's the other rule?
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book.
Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Security slipped evidence law into pocket.
Doesn't look like that book will do any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, Detective.
Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Alice Sky found out that one willing cause of man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding.
You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 12:52, District Court, Courtroom number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecutor calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have struck a bargain. You're afraid I may have manipulated a witness. I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? Well, there's never been an case example. Undeniable, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call for the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is good as over.
Defense calls! Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As a defense partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Well then, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Alright, my name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SO9 incident. Oh, you mean that when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course. The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Hold up. Weapons. Alrighty then. Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? Well, he's pleading the fifth.
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risk.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
SL9 incident. As I recall, Neo and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Well, that's short.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Huh? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neo flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Alrighty then, SL9 incident. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right, I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short... Okay, wrong one. Press. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say. He got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that? The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Alrighty there. Could you tell us what you saw? That was a shocking sight. Oh, what the heck? Neon and that serial killer were lying on the heap of the floor, all tangled together.
But what we saw is that it was the freaking stab. If he was stabbed, then how? Oh, the forged, that's right.
Doc was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done.
Okay, I think this is the last one.
How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Yes.
Anyway?
Oh, never mind.
So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you're better off staring at the court record.
Why they weren't always a smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident.
Only thing I can think of was that freaking safe because he's the one. It's his safe. It's his freaking ID number. So there's no way that no one has access to that safe where it was hidden. What is this? Rule number 1: no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. That is not it. Okay, back. The writing head was found in Gant's desk. I mean, we could show this. The evidence list. What was that there? The only thing I could think of is the list. Why wasn't it in the safe? Back. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is just the evidence list. It has to be that. No other way. Check. It's gotta be the list. Yeah.
Objection! You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example.
That's the list Emma Sky drew on her picture on.
This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the legal investigation.
Chief God, what's the meaning of this?
How? Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worth. So you admit to it then? That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Rhino?
However, Detective Gumption was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? If Detective Gumption's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment? And a list. Oh, for all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyways, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participated in forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Udgy, in return, though.
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys telepathic? What are these guys, telepathic? For all I know. You can't prove when those pieces were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found in the crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Mr. Wright. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have been suddenly materialized the day after Doc was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The Chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Mr. Wright. Think about it. How can you look at me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Marshall's death, unfortunate demise, was Emma Skye.
Well, how do you see? Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I am that incompetent? What do you mean? If I went out that case, I was already in the line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is this true? Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway.
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointing at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Urgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
Well. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough in yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Would that detective be an accomplice? Would that be it? Well, just on that statement. True, you might not help out for anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright,
Oh, that's right.
it appears you're possibly determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lead people ahead.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, I'll ask. Who is this person you believe trying to get me help forge evidence?
Take that!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant.
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit, what do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait! You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you can control her. Right on, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this is all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Alas, that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial, almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana taking the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency to accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That's impossible.
I'm about to say inconceivable, but they're still the same. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edwards said. Easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright, that the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I got nothing.
I see. Alright then. So what's the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman? Just remember, it better be good.
I got nothing for this. Evidence from the past brought back. Can't be the screwdriver now, can it? Yeah, I thought so. It can't be. Because what's the point of having that screwdriver?
Take that!
Well, Chief?
So long as Mr. Wright is tossing out things regardless of their relevance. Mind if I toss something too edgy? This shoe should be do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you.
You always were quite the joker, weren't you?
Oops. Looks like I got it wrong. Hey! That's an ID card! The judge wants you to show evidence. Oh, record. My bad.
I'll try to think back to what happened on the evidence room 4 days ago.
Now that he mentions that, we did find something out in yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered that room.
Alrighty then.
Take that!
Yes, the one that shows you who entered the evidence room on that day of the crime. There was one ID on the list. We could have determined the order of it yesterday. 7 plus 7s. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief's Gant office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
Which I just guessed back then. I'm afraid so, Your Honor. This code was 7s. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense search of my office was a violation of regulation.
And I will demand Mr. Wright to be punished to the maximum extent up to the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do in the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine on this guy's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during the meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that victim went to meet Gant on the day of the crime.
What do I have? What do I even have? The SL9 incident? Date was 20. It cannot be the last item report. It cannot be the report. It is!
Take that!
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or, to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of that report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it? How do I know, you ask? because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He did it too?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. The chief police murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of that sort.
Objection! Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. But you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
Whoa, lightning struck.
Chief, God, you didn't!
The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body.
Objection!
However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed in the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it?
Hey, you take this dead body over to the prosecutor's office? I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we needed to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space.
What? How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. No. No. You cannot be serious. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's this? A screwdriver? Well, what does that have to do with the case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
A chair because... Ah! After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car?
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Edward to carry evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transfer the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Miss Lana Skye.
Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. There was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
There's the photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief, God, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General for this. We have to get going if you're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away from after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stab all good men? That's what you're saying, right? But if you have any conclusive evidence you would have presented by now, well, You think I had law to dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. The court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor?
Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made this guy dispose of his body.
Do I have concrete proof? What proof do we have? Yeah. It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Huh. Sayaji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for allegations against the chief.
Wait, was I supposed to press it? Yeah, okay. It's going right. What? I don't gamble unless the stakes are high. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Algie, I'll leave the rest to you.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Objection!
Lady Luck, huh? Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edward, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We have yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
Lady who knows the truth. Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gunn has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edward, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth...
Take that!
The defendant? Miss Lana Sky.
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body, in accordance with someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we'll reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in...
Hold on.
Chief God, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen, good Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claim, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I got a lunch to meet.
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Looks like we managed to stay into the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
Ha ha ha! I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Good evening. Maya?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gunt's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
Not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify.
Huh. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
Okay. Risk. What did he mean by that?
It's simple. The chief refuses to testify. The opposite also holds true.
You mean if he forfeits, he... What? Emma! Are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone knew her. She said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so bold.
It's all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Alright, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else for the forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
And with that, we'll end today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that like button, comments, if you're new, fair like a subscribe, the struggles like Steven, I'm signing out.